Welcome back to Module 2. We have talked about how you can stay motivated when no one is watching because being fired up is just the beginning, but what happens when your energy dips because your energy will actually dip. And I have mentioned that you want to anchor your motivation to a deeper why. Why did you join this boot camp? What future are you trying to build? How would you feel if you stayed consistent to your plan in 30 days? That is like one of the biggest questions I want you to ask yourself. If I'm consistent on this for 30 days, how would I feel? Would I feel accomplished? Would I feel satisfied? Would I feel like, okay, I could actually do this? And then you want to visualize your results. You want to have the big picture. You want to visualize yourself already living in that result. Because the more you have that mental picture in front of you, you then can walk towards it. I always advise to keep visible reminders. Use your sticky notes, maybe digital wallpapers. I put my vision board as my screensaver on my phone or my laptop. I write it out and paste as affirmations on my mirror because I know that where I dress up every morning, I get to my mirror daily. Two to three, in fact, multiple times a day, more than three times a day, I will get to my mirror. So I always paste those things and I look at it and I say, oh, I'm going to publish that book. I'm going to get this thing done. I'm going to pay off my debt. I'm going to save X amount by the end of this year. I'm going to invest. I'm going to multiply money because that is one of my reasons. And why do I want to do that? Because I want financial freedom. I do not want to live a life of debt. I do not want to live hand to mouth. I do not want to live from hand to I don't want to fetch water in a bucket. I want financial freedom. I want to know how to make, multiply, and manage money, which is one of my goals for this year. So again, if you're working on to knowing how to keep yourself motivated, you want to have your why. You want to anchor into a deeper why, a deeper you, a deeper reason for being where you're at. All right, so here we are talking about you building structures because I had mentioned in the former model and last model that growth does not happen by accident. You want to learn to build structures around everything that you do. And this is because building routines help support your growth. But it's not going to go on, or rather than you go on emotions, when you have routines around the things that you should specifically do, you will find yourself doing them even when you don't feel like it. Maybe you set an alarm for every time you want to work out. You will get up and go and work out because your alarm has rung. Maybe you set an alarm to read your Bible. You set an alarm to read a book. You set an alarm to call a friend, phone a friend, check up on a friend. Maybe you scheduled regular checkups because you want to keep touch with your friends very regularly. You schedule those things on your calendar. When your calendar beeps, don't snooze it. Get up and go do these things. Because when you anchor your habit on existing routines, you find that it becomes easier over time. Such maybe you want to be reading, you want to be having coffee every morning, you want to read before bedtime, you set those times. You find that you're actually doing these things. Now, how do you build motivation? You want to start small and you want to be realistic. This is how you build structure. You want to not just go vague, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to eat a healthy meal. What exactly is a healthy meal? I'm going to eat one meal a day that consists of balanced diet. I'm going to eat one meal a day that is appropriately portioned, one portion of carbohydrates, and I'm going to have a lot of vegetables to my meal. That is you being specific. You want to set smart goals. I hope by now you have gotten your Grow Smart tracker so you can begin to track how you are meeting up all of these goals. You want to choose 2 to 3 habits that align with your overall goal. And if you're using the Growth Smart Tracker, I have advised that you can break your goals into smaller, manageable bits. Your holistic yearly goal, break it down into half yearly, break it down into quarters, break it down into months, and say, okay, every week I'm going to do this. This week I want to hit this goal. Next week I want to hit this goal. But in 2 weeks' time, I want to be here. It helps you know how to work towards these goals. For instance, if you have said you want to read a career related article per day, or you want to improve on your career, you might want to read, okay, let me read something about business analysis every day. Let me read what's happening in the financial world every day. So if you have said you want to apply for a new job, you want to move into, you want to pivot and go into a new job, then maybe you want to spend time updating your CV or LinkedIn on a daily basis. So if you want to grow your network, you can say, okay, I want to reach out to one new connection every week. Start small. Just start. but be realistic. Okay, in as much as I'm saying just start, you want to also be realistic. Don't set a goal like, oh, I want to speak to the president in 3 months. Is it possible for you to even have? Do you have that network? Do you have that access? And you may have, okay, you might build yourself to say, okay, if I need to say this president in 3 months, I'm going to need to know X and Y and Z person. So I'm going to start now to know those people. That's how you set small and realistic goals. Another thing you want to do is stack your habits on existing routines. For instance, when I'm having coffee, I'm going to write one LinkedIn post. Or before I go to bed, I'm going to write something I'm grateful for today. You begin to build a gratitude journal. Those are ways that you can get started. So having done that, having learned to by tracking your progress, you can find that you're going to reinforce your success. Tracking your progress helps you measure how far you have come. You can use things like calendars, you can use things like checklists, you can use habit apps. There's a habit app I downloaded and I have to write out everything I want to do. So I go there and I know I have to tick it and it gives me reminders. And if I don't tick it, it marks it as undone. So even if you do it and you don't go back to tick it, it will still mark as undone. So this all of these things, by the time you begin to build this cycle in like 1 week, 21 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. 90 days is the habit building mark. That's the milestone where they tell you if you can do something consistently for 90 days, it's gonna be it's going to become a habit and it will become difficult for you to break. Now, I know that life will throw us a lot of curveballs that we did not envisage, we did not see coming, we didn't have contingency or mitigation plans for, but you know that okay, I can step back and I attend to this thing and then I go back into the space where I would usually be and I go back into my everyday habits. So this is how you build habits. This is how you build a structure. This is how you build routines because routines are your daily fuel for long-term results. I hope you're catching my vibe. I hope you're catching what I'm saying to you right now. Now, accountability makes consistency easier and more fun. How did we get here? We have said that having built your routines, having anchored yourself into a deeper why, you build routines and have after building routines, you want to make yourself accountable. How do you do that? You find accountability partners and communities. When we are on a career journey, it is said in this life that no man is an island. You are not created to do this life alone. Accountability makes your journey lighter and much more fun. When you can share your goals with a trusted friend, a mentor, or a coach like me, you can find that I'm going to be supporting you every step of the way. When you join career focused communities like this boot camp, or you join maybe tech related communities, LinkedIn groups, WhatsApp groups, and all of that. And people, you see people consistently sharing their success stories. That should not deter you from going on your journey. You're like, okay, I am in motion. I'm in the right direction. Yeah, well, I also want to share my story. I also want to share my testimony. So you're going to go ahead to do those things that were seemingly difficult for you because people you see sharing success stories today, all of these things were seemingly difficult for them at some point in life. But if they had kept to it and said, oh, I'm not going to go ahead because it's difficult right now, they wouldn't have those success stories. So it is in your place to get up, take yourself out, and go and get yourself an accountability group. I'm available if you want to build an accountability structure with me because I know that maybe a friend from this boot camp or a friend from work, a work colleague, one of your peers in this boot camp or any training you are at, or you find yourself with a coach. Career communities, you have them on LinkedIn, on Telegram, on Slack, on WhatsApp. There's a million of them. If you're a business analyst or you're into no code tech, BAMS, which is my community, has a community that supports your growth. As long as you have said, I want to keep to this, I want to do this, I want to make this happen, you're going to be pushed into that space. We're going to hold you accountable for all of it. Now, it's not enough that you just find yourself an accountability system. You want to be specific. You want to set weekly check ins. You want to share your goals and particularly ask for honest feedback, which is why I say I will always advise you get a coach someone who will give you an independent view rather than your friends, because unless you have those kind of friends that will tell you the bitter truth irrespective of how you take it, if you don't have one of those friends, then bro and sis, you want to get yourself one of those. They will tell you, okay, I think you're doing this right, however you could improve here and here and here. I don't take it like criticism. You want to take it as um you want to take it as mindful feedback, things you need to improve on, things you need to work on. Then you give accountability too. I'm able to learn the much I know about business analysis, not just because I've experienced in the field, not just because I've grown in the field, but also because I have taught people. I am teaching people. The more I teach people, the more I find that I know it because I have to do research. I have to go and learn about it. I have to research more. Oh, is this what is happening in the world today? I have to learn things around what are other people doing about this kind of thing. When I have projects like this, when I have issues like this, I myself am learning and I'm growing. And I have groups where I go to ask, oh, hey, I'm in this part of the project. How do I come out of it? What do I do? And then I hear people give me feedback, give me suggestions, because you're not the first person to go through whatever you're going through. People have been there before you. People will be there after you. People are there with you at the moment. So it's not a race. When you help others grow, when you encourage somebody else, you grow yourself. So speak out and let people know where to help you. And always give your voice where it is necessary. Give your voice where someone asks you about something you are knowledgeable of. You don't have to give the right answer. There doesn't have to be a right or wrong answer. It's just, oh hey, I've been something similar to this. I've had a similar situation to this, and this is how I handled it. It might not, your trick might not work for the person, but the person will know that, okay, I'm not the only one who's been through this, and the person might just try it and it just might work. You never can tell. I'm able to do this career clarity bootcamp because I've been through a space where I didn't have direction in my career, coming as an accounting graduate into customer service, and they're coming to a startup where I started learning tech, and I'm like, do I know this much? I don't know this much. I begged for internships. I begged, like I literally begged for the opportunity. Okay, don't pay me. Oh, they kept telling me, oh, we can't pay you. You're overqualified. And I said, please, I just want to learn. I just want to sit at the feet of someone who knows better than me to see how these things are done in the real world. I wasn't given the opportunity at that time where I begged. So I had to take it up. Okay, volunteer roles, look for open internship roles, look for people that could body up with and say, I just want to learn this thing. I took a lot of trainings for me to know where I'm at, and I'm still taking trainings. So you never get to that point where you know it all and I'm going to teach. You will get obsolete. If you don't keep learning, if you don't keep teaching somebody, you will not find gaps in your knowledge. Now, I find that when I teach people and they ask me questions and I don't know the answer, I realize that I have a gap in my knowledge. I like that is that if I did not teach that, I will not get that question. If I did not get that question, I will not realize I have a gap in my knowledge and I will not go to research it. So you want to also give accountability to others and not just take from them. Oh, be accountable, be accountable. It's not just taking from somebody. You're more likely to succeed when you have someone watching for you, when you have someone watching you and rooting for you. You're more likely to succeed when you have someone watching for you and rooting for you. Because accountability makes the world go round. It makes life really easy. It just really makes everything a lot more comfortable. So what have I said to you in essence today? I have said that to walk the talk, to keep yourself going, to keep yourself growing, you need to build an accountability habit. How do you do that? First, you want to stay motivated even when nobody's looking at you. You want to anchor yourself to a deeper why. You want to visualize the results that you intend to get. You want to keep your reminders visible. The second thing you want to do is build routines, not just random routines, routines that support your growth. How do you build these routines? You start small and be realistic. Allow yourself, be compassionate to yourself. Give yourself that grace that, okay, I don't know this much, so I'm going to start from here. Maybe you want to be a data analyst, but you don't even know how to do data entry into Excel. Maybe you don't even know how to open Excel. So you want to start by opening Excel. You want to start by, okay, I'm going to learn a beginner's course on Excel today, this week. And from there, you're able to open Excel and understand what all the ribbons and formulas and functions, how they sit, where you can find them. Then you go into entering data. Then you go into building. Then you go into pivot tables. And you can do all of the magic that Excel can afford to do for you. But you need to be realistic and set small and realistic goals. Then you need to stack on your habit. You need to stack habits on your existing routines. You need to say, okay, if you go for a walk every day, how about you listen to an audiobook on that walk? If you're trying to pray more, how about you listen to music or worship or even a sermon, a prayer session on that walk? If you take coffee and you just sit and watch the sun, how about you play some motivational podcast while you're doing that? Mind you, you don't have to be paying full attention to it. It will sink into your spirit. It's just how these things in your environment work. Then you want to track your progress. You want to say, oh, how far have I come from what I intended to do, from the goals I had set? How far have I come in relation to my current goals today? Then you want to build accountability. So the three major steps are to be anchored into a deeper why, to build routines, and to build accountability communities. If you don't find any for yourself, build one and let people join you on it. Now I have mentees, direct and indirect mentees, the ones who have asked me to mentor them, the ones who just come to my DM and say, oh, I really admire what you're doing. I would like to be intentional about your relationship and keep you within scope. I'm okay with it because there are people who I'm also learning from. And I have those people who I constantly just keep within my radar, like I'm intentional about you. I really love what you're doing. I'm very intentional about you. Some of them I've had the chance to let them know that I love you, I admire you, and I'm intentional about my growth and intentional about keeping you in my space because I want to grow. You mirror the person I want to be. Some of them I have not had that opportunity to let them know. So I just watch them. Just okay, this person is doing this. So if this person can do it, the person has two heads. She's a woman like myself. She has children. She's married. So I am unstoppable. Because sometimes we need to see that someone else has broken the ice and then we can break it. Sometimes we are pace setters. Sometimes we are trendsetters. Sometimes we are the beginners. And other times you just have to follow the trend that other people have set. But ensure that you're not just going with the bandwagon effect. Everybody's doing it, so I must. It is important that you are filtering and everything that you have in front of you is aligned to your personal goals. So I have said all I have said about anchoring your why into a deeper reason. I've said all I have said about building routines. I've said all I have said about making accountability or building accountability groups. I hope this really sinks into somebody today because I'm not going to be here forever. You're not going to have me for too long to keep these conversations going. You're not even going to have access to this bootcamp for too long to keep the conversations going, which is why I say I am open if you want to have one-on-one conversations, if you want to build deeply on what you're doing, you want maybe a bespoke plan, you want somebody to hold you accountable, you have Lady B. Feel free to reach out to me. Don't be afraid. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? There are people who I also hold on to. There are places where I also anchor to. So I'm not going to be selfish to say, oh, don't come around, don't build this. If you are looking to transition into a career in tech, I have something that could help you. I have transition. I have helped other people transition. And I can do it with and for you as well. So all you have to do is send me a DM. The BAMS community is open. It is a free community open to everybody. You're going to have to link to join the BAMS community on the group. However, ensure that you're not just taking everything that is free. You're also investing in yourself because nobody gives all of the value for free. They're always going to hold something back. And you need to invest in those persons to grow yourself. There are places where I have paid money to be in inner circles of people I admire because I'm like, I want to see what you're doing. How are you growing? I want to do this. I want to be on your radar. So don't be selfish to yourself. You need to be intentional about your growth. I'll see you in module 3.